Hello, listeners. You are listening to another episode of That's Auntertainment. I am your pop culture maven, Jeff Malone, and this is a mini episode of That's Auntertainment. So my regular co-host Aunt Beth is not here at the moment, but we do have a returning guest, because it's kind of been a tradition to have him around for this occasion. Please welcome back, since for the first time and not that long ago, my dad, Bob Malone, live from Yardley, Pennsylvania.
Yes, hello from foggy Yardley.
You got fog? We got lots of rain today, but I didn't notice it being too terribly foggy.
Yes, the day started out a little ice and then rain, and now it's turning into fog again.
By the time our listeners are listening to this, it might be 70 degrees.
I think, yes, we're going to have our first taste of spring, I think, by this weekend, yeah.
And I might be wearing shorts on my birthday. I'd say there's about a 60 to 70% chance of that happening. But anyway, so we've got a few different types of mini episodes on That's Auntertainment. There are the ones where Aunt Beth recommends something for me to watch, or there's the karaoke corner, of course, and then there's this variety that you're listening to right now, where it's just a tradition, an annual tradition, annual or semi-annual, depending on how things are scheduled on the entertainment calendar. Right now, lately it's been annual, where we give our quick recap of a That's Auntertainment favorite. So usually on the show, we pick a pop culture topic and discuss it according to the 3 Fs: first, favorite, and forever. And I think one of the first topics, in our first year, one of our topics was Jeopardy, the classic answer and question game show. And since then, I've kind of been doing recaps of the tournaments of champions since then. And my dad, a former Jeopardy contestant himself, has joined for at least a few of those. Maybe not all of them, but definitely multiple ones. So in the past years, we've focused on just the Tournament of Champions, but now Jeopardy has a whole postseason, as they're referring to it. So I figured let's talk about all of it. Maybe we'll focus primarily on the Tournament of Champions, but Dad, I'll kind of let you decide. I'll let you lead the way about what you want to focus on. But before we get into that, I have a trivia question for you. Are you ready?
I guess so. I wasn't prepared, but I'll try.
Well, it might be right up your alley, or we'll find out. It's actually not Jeopardy related, but let's see how it goes. So on the new NBC sitcom, The Rise and Fall of Reggie Dinkins, what is Reggie's collegiate alma mater?
I believe Reggie went to Rutgers.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. Yeah. Now, do you know this from watching the show or from some other way?
I think I saw it mentioned somewhere. I don't know if it was on the Rutgers message board or where it was mentioned, but I had read that somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was revealed on the second episode, the second or third episode. They have flashbacks to Reggie's famous flu game. Michael Jordan had his flu game. Reggie had a flu game. Reggie, played by Tracy Morgan, had a flu game when he was playing college football in the earlier mid-90s. But then they've revealed the truth. He actually had food. He was actually sick from a prank gone wrong because they were playing Penn State, and he tried to kidnap their Nittany Lion mascot. And in the course of doing that, he swam through a river and got sick from that.
So the show I haven't started it. You've been watching it?
Yeah,
Uh,
I've it's there's been, what is it, 3 or 4
uh,
episodes have aired so far. Yeah, well, they had a premiere in January, I think. They showed the
oh,
first episode, but that was like a special early premiere. They didn't start showing new episodes again until right after the Olympics.
mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah, but it's been enjoyable for any.
Good.
It does have, Tracy's a 30 Rock alum, and then there's 30 Rock alums behind the camera. It's one of the many descendants of 30
Uh-huh,
Rock, I would
right.
say, is along with Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and Girls Five Eva, and a few other shows like that. Yeah, so I recommend it to 30 Rock fans, and I guess to Rutgers fans
You're
as
right.
well. But yeah, okay, so I guess let's move on. Since it is a mini episode, ostensibly, let's get right into
Okay.
the what we are officially here for. So, the Jeopardy season 42 postseason. So we're
Right.
talking about Second Chance, Champions Wildcard, Tournament of Champions, and the JIT,
Hmm.
aka the Jeopardy Invitational Tournament. So the Second Chance had a trio of winners: Pete Johnston, Michelle Sy, and Ryan Sharp. They all advanced to Champions Wildcard, but none of them won. Instead, Champions Wildcard winner was Cameron Barry. That got him an advancement to the Tournament of Champions. I think he made it to the semifinals, but the big chalupa of the TOC was Paolo Pasco.
Hmm.
And then the JIT, totally separate set of contestants than those other tournaments I just mentioned. And that ended up going to Andrew He this year. And Dad, did you know that this was Andrew He's first time ever winning a Jeopardy tournament?
No, no.
He mentioned it. I think I heard this on another podcast, the official Jeopardy podcast. He was being interviewed by executive producer Michael Davies and producer Sarah Foss. But yeah, so his Tournament of Champions, his original year, I think Amy Schneider won it that
Uh,
year. So he had tough competition, and then
yeah.
he's played in Masters, and I think he might have been in a previous JIT. But yeah, it's kind of funny. He's always done so well, but this
Yeah.
was his first
He did.
time.
He did reference letting his hair grow as a good luck charm.
Yeah,
That was one of the reasons
I
that
did
he said.
recognize him, but it was a little disorienting to see
Yeah.
him with his hair down
Yeah.
so far. All right, so I'll let you. So, what were your biggest takeaways
Yeah.
from this
Well,
postseason?
it's funny because I was writing down my comments, and a lot of them are criticisms. But I think the first thing I have to say was that I was entertained and I watched almost every night. If I wasn't home, uh, I didn't. We have it taped, and I probably didn't watch the shows that I missed, but otherwise, I made an effort to watch all the shows, and I was entertained. And so probably watched 90% of the shows and looked forward to it and appreciated it. So I don't want it to be taken like, oh, everything I'm saying is negative. There was a great deal of enjoyment. There, the shows were entertaining, entertaining and suspenseful, and but I do have some criticisms. The first thing is, I think their tournament season is too long. It's like basically it's all of January and February. Does it start the end of December, or was
I believe so. Let's see. I've got the J archive open. Second Chance started December 15th.
oh, okay, and it went through pretty much through February, didn't it? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
the invitational tournament ended on February 20th.
Yeah. So it's a little over 2 months. And I think, as I discussed with you, one of the things that does, it takes away from the regular contestants. So you do have people that have been on before, and you're kind of recycling them. And that really does mean that's less time for just for new people to play. Uh, and specifically, the Jeopardy Invitational Tournament, I don't think that needs to be held every year.
Mhm.
It loses its. Was it on last year?
I
Um,
think it's been on. I think this was the third year in a row that they've
yeah,
done it.
it becomes less special. I like seeing them, but I don't need to see uh, people like Roger Craig and Matt Amodio and Drew every year.
Yeah,
They're special, but when it's like, oh, he's on again,
yeah,
it's they're not so special. Um,
right.
there was a while, oh, Roger Craig was a very special contestant, and then oh, I saw him last year, and now he's on again, and
Hmm.
you brought him back, and Matt was one of my all time favorites, and then it's like, and maybe it kind of builds up, but oh, I saw him last year, and now I saw him again, and then you tend to think, oh, I see him all the time, and
Hmm.
maybe it's just 2 years in a row, but it it tends to feel like, oh, he's on all the time. You know,
Yeah. Well, I
I think
mean,
that could be done just every 3 years or it doesn't have to be done every year. I think they're overdoing that tournament.
yeah. Well, when you see contestants 2 years in a row, it's a big difference from like compared to like even just 10 years ago when you would see them. They would go on if they would win like between 5 and 10 games. You'd see them for 2 weeks in a row. Then you'd see them later that year on the Tournament of Champions, and then you wouldn't see them. Some of them you would never see again. Others you would see like greatest of all times tournaments that they would do like every 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So there'd be a bit of a wait of years at
Hmm.
least before we saw those people again.
Yeah. Um, and and then two other related comments I have. Um, I think a s- I'm not sure about um, the second chance and the wild card. But once they got into the tournament of champions and the JIT, I think the questions were too difficult.
Yeah.
They, I think they were at least, and it's hard to quantify, but I thought they were at least 25% more difficult um,
Where'd you game?
than an average game.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and to me, they should be 10 to 15% harder. They should be harder, but um, and that's just subjective on my part, but they were definitely harder. One of the ways you can um, you can verify that is that there were a bunch of triple stumper questions, and
Yeah.
obviously you know what I mean. If all our listeners don't, that's when nobody answers it. So when you have champions that can't answer that question,
Yeah.
that's a triple. When none of them answer it, that's a triple stumper. And that happened a number of times. And you really don't want that. And that to me tells me that you're going too difficult. Um, and that happened a number of times. And so I'm not sure if you agree what that percentage is, but they were really, I think they went over the limit um, on difficulty.
Yeah.
Uh,
15 sounds like inappropriate
yeah,
increase in difficulty.
yeah. And so related to that, I thought, and this doesn't affect too many people, but I thought the winners of the celebrity tournaments then shouldn't be on the Tournament of Champions because
Yeah.
their questions are generally 10 to 20% easier,
Yeah.
and then you put them on the Tournament of Champions, and it's embarrassing when they're on there, you
Well,
know.
these two at least were. There were two celebrity champions
Mhm.
this time around because one Lisa and Walter was supposed to be on last year's but was held over until
Uh-huh.
this year. Yeah, well, they yeah she and W. Kamau Bell definitely they weren't as impressive as Ike
Ike
Barinholtz
was, yeah,
was.
yeah. So that's um, that's a lot of my comments and questions or comments that I had generally. And then
Mhm.
if you wanted to talk about, I'll let you say some things. And then I just had some comments about particular games and contestants.
Well, I'll second your belief about the uh, JIT being thinking that it should be a not annual tournament
Mhm.
and more like an every few years tournament. And I also think that I feel the same way about Second Chance and Champions Wildcard. Like, let I did enjoy seeing those people, a lot of those contestants get another chance, and a lot of I'd say the majority of them proved that they deserved another
Mhm.
chance. So it's not like it was a weak contestant pool. It's just like uh, I'm like, let it build up for a few seasons, and
Yeah.
but I did particularly like seeing Guy Branum again and Eric Charles Nielsen again, who I guess are, I don't know, like, not they're celebrities to me because I've seen them on TV shows, but I guess they're not superstar level enough to be on Celebrity Jeopardy. Although I do know them better than a few people who have been on Celebrity Jeopardy, weirdly enough. And then the other thing, I think I may have said this in the past couple of years. I wish that the Tournament of Champions would go back to the having wild card advancements into
Mhm.
the semifinals and doing the 2 game total point affair finals instead of the first to 3 wins
Oh,
format that they're doing now. Um, yeah, Michael Davies really, the executive producer, he really is much big. I think he came up with this new format, and he wasn't really a fan of wild cards and 2 day finals.
oh,
So, um, I mean, it's 2 day finals can be kind of funky, and I guess I like it because that's what I've been used to for decades. So I'm like, well, maybe if it had been first to 3 format all along, maybe I would feel differently.
yeah.
But
Well,
what do you think about that?
the it's funny, the Jeopardy Invitational was first to two, right? And then the Tournament of Champions was first to three. And I
Yeah,
thought, well, I thought it was interesting, and it certainly gave them a chance. And it was surprising because Paolo won. He won it in 3 days, didn't he?
yeah,
And I think they were all, um, what do you call it? He had the one before they went into. They were all walkaways,
yeah, or
uh,
Runaways.
runaways. Which so I mean he certainly deserved it, but it is a different kind of strategy than it would be the best of two because you're
Yeah,
really just going each game you're going all out. So the strategy was really all dependent on the daily doubles. You're looking for
yeah,
those daily doubles almost every time they would bet all their money
yeah.
on that because you're going for a knockout in every game, and he got them, and I get I don't remember now, but I guess most of the time he got them right.
hmm
Um, I I did like it the 3 days, but I think it's a little there is somewhat different strategy because if you're just going for the best total in 2 days, there's a different betting strategy on day one. You don't bet all your money. You kind of hold back. So, you know, you don't really with all three. Um, I think there's a little less strategy because you just have to win each day.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
uh,
the one other funny thing that can happen is like if one contestant has 2 wins, and let's say you're in a distant third late in that game, well, you don't want to win it anymore because like if you don't have a chance, so you don't want to ring in anymore because you're hoping that the other person, the person who
yeah,
doesn't have 2 wins, can win this game
yeah, yeah.
just to extend it.
Hmm.
So, well, you tank a bit because it's like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm third place with 10,000 or third place with 0.
Hmm.
It's it all resets the next game anyway. Whereas if
Yeah.
it were a 2-day final, you carry over
You're right.
your scores.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of some of the individuals. I think it was in the was it the Jeopardy Invitational? Allison Betts.
Yeah.
Her bet was this was in the quarterfinals. Do you remember that? She was in third place, and she was back quite a bit. Your mother will often, she's a pretty good bettor, and a lot of times the third place person bets money, and your mother will often say they shouldn't bet anything because the only way they're going to win is if first and second get it wrong, and bet a lot. So Allison's answer was, I hope they both get it wrong, and
I hope they both bet everything.
Oh, they hope they both bet everything
because they were tied for the lead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, and I guess she didn't know it, but she didn't bet anything. And
right.
So she stays at her low amount, and both of them did bet everything and got it wrong. And so she won with her low amount. And it was humorous, but it was also a good bet on her part. And so she made it into the semifinals, but she didn't go any farther. But I think that was one of the more memorable moments in the tournament. I also liked probably my favorite. Oh, one other comment in that I think mainly in the JIT was because of the difficulty of the questions, I think it affected Matt and Roger because they have a tendency to ring in before they know the answer.
Yeah.
And their assumption is that they'll know it.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times, quite a few times, that they rang in, and Roger is they're both kind of slow in getting to the answer, but they would ring in and they'd figure they would know it. But these questions were even hard for them. And I was surprised at how many times, and I didn't look at the numbers, but I was surprised at how many times they got answers wrong. And it's like, why are they ringing in? But I think that their normal game was to ring in, beat other people, and not wait till they knew it, but just ring in and assume they would know it. And now, because that level of difficulty was higher, it didn't come to them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, they're making mistakes that they don't normally make. That's my reasoning, because it's like Matt wins all the time. Matt doesn't make mistakes. And Roger too. Matt didn't even get out of the quarterfinals, and Roger then lost in the semis, but he didn't, obviously. I mean, Andrew won, I think, Andrew beat Matt, and then but Roger didn't win any games in the semis.
Well, Matt actually did make it to the semis, but he lost in the semis then.
No, the semis were Roger, Andrew, and Long.
That was the finals.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Those were the three in the finals. Okay. Right. But the winners of the okay. Yeah. And then one of my other favorite contestants was Drew. He's just he's one below the level of the top players, but he's just such a pleasant guy and really funny, and just,
Now, do you mean Drew G or Drew B? Because there were two Drews in the JIT.
The Hawaiian Drew.
Yeah.
Drew G, I think it is.
Yeah.
Drew B is a little. I don't want to really criticize him, but I think he's the kind of guy that thinks I'm supposed to win, and is a little upset when he doesn't go on. But Drew G is just such a breath of fresh air, and very, very quick and very clever.
Yeah.
Funny voices, can really adjust to things and make a lot of clever comments.
I I would say, yeah, we saw Drew, we saw both Drews, we saw Allison recently, among a lot of people we saw recently, but just mentioning those again because it is nice to see them personality wise
Yeah,
again
yeah,
because they can provide some viral moments. So
mhm.
that's
Yeah.
nice at
So it's
least.
obvious that I enjoyed watching, but
Yeah.
you know, like I
Hmm.
said, it would still. I still have those comments and criticisms, and think that they could, slow it down a little. Didn't need
Yeah.
legit. Um, don't
Well,
have to be so difficult. You know.
the other thing I saw someone mention on a Jeopardy recap online, one of the ones that I read, I think I saw someone mention that having the first to three format makes it a little hard to promote your schedule because you don't know exactly when the TOC, exactly what day the TOC will end, and
Mhm.
thus you don't know exactly what day the JIT will start.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you're someone who watches it every day without fail, that's not a big deal. But presumably, there are some viewers who make it a point to watch the tournaments more than regular episodes, or and they would like to, they could be drawn in if these
yeah. I
things are
think
being.
there's something to be said for knowing that Thursday and Friday are going to be the final 2 days
Yeah.
of the tournament.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Michael Davies, if you're listening, that's what we think. We can't
Mhm.
claim to be speaking for every Jeopardy viewer, but we I don't think we're the only two who feel this way.
Yeah, I think when people are watching, they like to be able to, they're impressed by them, but they like to be able to answer questions too. And, you know, uh, you can't make it that difficult.
Yeah, well, we do have. Well, speaking of not too difficult, we do have Celebrity Jeopardy coming up,
Yeah.
returning soon, March 13th. All Stars season returns, so yeah, I believe that's people from. It looks like it's former champs from the
Oh,
last three
uh-huh,
primetime
uh-huh.
seasons, not necessarily reaching back that far from like early 2000s or 90s or thereabouts. But though Andy Richter will be there, so I think he was first. He's his first appearance was that in the 90s or was it early
Oh,
2000s?
well,
But anyway, yeah. So best of the best apparently there. I think Ike Barinholtz is back, and as are Kamal Bell and Lisa Ann Walter. So I
oh,
guess
mhm.
could they get back into the Tournament of Champions if they win this All Stars tournament?
I guess it depends on their schedule, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, any other thing that you needed to buzz in about before we wrap
Um,
things up?
no, those were pretty much my comments. The extent of my comments.
All right.
Just a little surprising on the tournament. So Scott was actually, I guess you would have said, was the favorite, right? He had won the
Yeah,
most games
I believe
this
he
past
had.
year.
Yeah, if uh, if that's the metric you use, and that
Yeah,
would be the most obvious metric to use.
right. And
Uh,
Laura didn't even make it into the final round. She was one of those
right.
with the bye. So
Hmm.
there were a few little upsets there.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up. So Scott had 16 wins
Yeah.
in his original run, and then he was way ahead of Laura. Laura had the second most of
Oh,
anyone in this tournament with 8, and then Paolo had 7.
okay.
Um, so yeah, but sometimes a 7 game winner is just as strong as a super champ,
Yeah.
and that certainly was the case this time around.
Hmm.
So congratulations to Paolo once again, and to all the other champions. Okay, so that is the yearly Jeopardy recap. Any we don't always do promotions and recommendations during mini episodes, but do you have anything that you want to mention, Dad?
No, basketball will be the March Madness will be starting soon.
Yes, and we might be doing a podcast episode about that if we can schedule it. Would you like to join me and Jeff Smith again if we do that?
I haven't talked to Jeff in a while, so I'm ready. I'll be ready.
Okay, very good. And yeah, so I'll be sure to mention you can support us on Patreon if you'd like. And Ken Jong, if you have any thoughts about March Madness, please let us know. You're always welcome on this show. And you can leave us.
One question about Ken: has he ever been on Celebrity Jeopardy?
I don't believe so, but that would be. I know Yvette Nicole Brown has been on, so at least one community cast member has been on. But yeah, Ken, that would be interesting. Mm-hmm. He says yes to everything apparently, so that's I can see that in his future. But yeah, so you can follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram and Facebook. And I will say what is good night on behalf of Aunt Beth, and Dad, you can thank you once again for joining us.
Well, good night, and thanks for having me, and don't get overheated this weekend.
I shall do my best. I'll probably open my window. And in the meantime, until next time, keep your remotes handy and your eyes open.